How do you know how to make film, John? Have you studied it at all?
Well, no, Yoko was quite adept in filmmaking, and she'd made quite a few films before I met her. I used to make 8mm films at home, you know, and superimpose and do tricks with it, and just play arbitrary records with it. But when I met Yoko, she said, well, why don't you do it seriously, you know? So she sort of helped me develop in that area, and I find it's very similar to recording, you know, just visual, and it's beautiful to work with.
You understand the camera and all how it works, and
Yes.
do you use an American camera, or?
Getting so good now, I find it a bit, you know, he's too good for my liking these days almost. You know. And it's
Well,
really,
she taught me filmmaking, I taught her sort of rock and roll, you know, and so I'm getting worried with these singles coming out, and she's getting worried with my film, so it's pretty good.
What kind of camera do you use when you...
both.
Ariflex, Ariflex, 16
Also, you know, we
Film
use about
fans like to know that.
three
we know the
cameras
picture best, you know.
at the same time.
Sorry.
Sorry?
We use about 3 cameras at the same time, you know, because not to get all the angles and cover it and everything.
I mean, we know what a good picture is, so if you know what a nice picture is, then that's the start, you know.
Say,
Is
it true, that rumor that they used to, when the 4 of you were together, that
Who?
some of the, you and the other fellows, that those concerts, many times the din was so uproarious and all, nobody could hear anything anyway, that they actually played a tape and that you didn't really play? That was a rumor that went around.
We didn't ever play. There were sometimes when your voice was so bad through losing your voice that you would be wouldn't be singing at all, but nobody would notice because there would be so much noise going on. You could never hear what we were doing, you know. It just would become a sort of happening, like Shea Stadium was a happening. You couldn't hear any music at all. And that got boring, you know.
Yeah.
That's why we stopped, really. I reckon now if I went out, not as the Beatles, but just Yoko and I went out with the group, then people wouldn't be screaming, you know, and because our records are better now, I think, and more mature, and I think the audience will be more mature too. That's what I'm hoping. I don't want any of that jazz, you know.
You've said somewhere you said you'd like to be forgotten, but now you say you'd like to go out and perform again, so you can't really have...
well, I can still be forgotten when I'm dead. I don't really care what happens when I'm dead, if that's what you mean.
No, I thought you meant now. I thought you meant I just like it all to go away and all the publicity you've had.
No, I mean, well, you see, with people like me and yourself, you know, if you're in a certain mood and reporters sort of asking questions which are angled to get an answer that they need to sell their paper, and you're in a certain mood, you'll say certain things to them, and then people bring it back 5 years later, so you said this, did you? But you've forgotten all about it. You've changed your mood. It's a different day. It's a different year, you know, and you feel entirely different. So you're always held up to what you've said before, and I don't... Half the time you don't know what you're talking about when you're talking to reporters.
I have that same feeling. I always want to say, well, either I said it or I didn't say it, or I said it and didn't mean it.
Yeah.
And, or any of the above.
It's like, you know, if everybody's words were recorded as they were saying it, there's lots of things you say that either turn out to be silly, or you didn't mean it, or was the spur of the moment, or you meant it, or you had foresight or didn't. And it varies, but when people bring it back, you've forgotten all about it. You know, I don't know what you're talking about.
Which are you doing now?
How do you mean?
I mean, what you're saying now you actually mean.
I don't know what he's talking about. What's he talking about? What do you mean?
What am I doing? We'll be back after this. Stay where you are. I've been reading Grapefruit, which is a book that Yoko wrote, and it's got a lot of...
Which comes out in paperback in 2 weeks' time.
It may even be out now in certain areas.
It might be out now,
if not, you can. If it isn't, you can. You can reserve your copy. But there are things in here that you suggest people do, which is it's a book you can take part in. Such as getting a bag of light and bringing it down and placing it where your light bulb would be, and so on, which I find difficult to do, but
well, when you do
like
it, probably you'll find that it's easier than...
Easier than I think.
It's a book of instructions. Like Yoko says, poetry is adjective and prose is noun. What?
Well, this is just...
What's that story you tell about adjective and noun?
This is not adjective or noun, but it's a verb, you know.
Verb. You have to do the things in the book. It's a book of instructions. And through doing them, you have... it's like... I don't know, you go through a trip and you go through an awareness. You have an experience.
Let's do one fast.
Okay. Well, go on, what?
That one?
Okay.
Which one?
Yes, okay. I'll listen to yours.
Okay, go on. What do you do?
Oh, so, why don't you...
Do you want to use me in any way? Okay. Tell me what you're going to do.
Oh,
I'm going to get this one.
Oh, that's...
What do you need, John?
Well, we listen to each other.
Listen to each other.
One of the original instructions in a book was called Touch Piece, where everybody in the audience had to touch each other. And that was long before Essalon or any of those things where people are supposed to touch each other. In 1960, she did that.
Anywhere you want.
Yeah, I'll have a listen.
Wait,
I'm laughing through your head, you see.
Yes?
Talk.
Okay. For some reason I feel I should cough or something.
Is anything happening inside?
Can you hear anything?
Well, it sort of echoes like a cave. Do you want to try it? Try it, go on. And if you move that, it comes different.
Oh, it sounds...
Go on. Hello, Dick, how are you? All right, how are you?
That's amazing.
Fine, thanks. How's Rick? He's in the kitchen with Mom. Where's Mom? She's in the house watching paper.
I didn't hear a thing.
Now, Dick, listen to me somehow.
John, you swallowed a clock. So anywhere I want to listen to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Are you serious, lady?
I have no
Really?
secrets.
No?
Crazy, you know.
Well, let me close my eyes and just...
Anything happening there?
It's on her shoulder for those with bad focus on their television set. I can hear the audience. It's very strange.
I think it's a nice way of
It's fun.
communication.
Yeah,
And
I'd like to do that.
Total communication is peace. I mean, equal peace, you know.
Listening
We can
to each
never
other.
have peace unless the whole world would have total communication. This is just a process.
There's a piece in
You may
that
be
book
right.
called Cut Piece where most artists, when they give you something, they make a painting or a record. Are we going to go away or something?
No, we were going to take a look at your piece of
Oh,
film.
okay,
Let's
right.
do that.
Then we'll
Okay,
talk
shall I
about
talk
Cut
about
Piece
it?
in a moment.
Shall I talk
This
about
is John's...
the film?
Yeah, tell us about your film.
Well, this film is called Erection, and it's not what you think. See, I was driving through London once, or any city, and you suddenly notice, if you go away, you come back, suddenly there's a big building there. And I suddenly noticed this hotel starting to get built, and I had this idea to show the whole of the film growing, you see. So I got this guy to take still footage in the same position for 1.5 years while they built the... He did it once a week, you know, every Friday from the same place. And the film is like a cartoon where these stills over the 1.5 years, the hotel just grows up in front of you. And you see... And in the left-hand corner, you won't see it, but you see a bush going through all the seasons from summer to winter. The leaves come and go, and the snow comes and it goes. And gradually, at the end of the film, the whole hotel is there. People are in there. The lights go out. And at the very end, all the lights go out gradually in all the bedrooms. And then that's the end. It lasts 20 minutes. And it just goes one frame after the other.
Let's take a look at some...
It goes now. And the music is from Yoko's new album on the back of the film.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Out now.
The movie is called Erection.